The sound you just heard wasn't a folding chair hitting bone, it was the sound of the entire WrestleMania landscape shattering into a million jagged pieces. For weeks, we've watched a ghost haunt the locker rooms. We've watched a shadow systematically dismember the most dominant faction in the WWE. But tonight, the hood came down, the mask was stripped away, and the face staring back at us isn't just a rival, it's a declaration of war. The mystery is dead, but the nightmare for the bloodline and the vision has only just begun. You are watching SLAMZONE, and we are breaking down the absolute carnage that just unfolded on Monday Night Raw. Before we get into the blood, the betrayal, and the secret pact that has changed professional wrestling forever, I want to take a moment to speak to all of you. Here at SLAMZONE, we aren't just a channel, we're a family that lives for these moments. We stay up late, we lose our voices, and we ride the emotional roller coaster together. If you love this sport as much as we do, please, hit that subscribe button. It helps us keep the lights on and the coverage coming. Drop a comment below, I want to feel your energy. Tell me your shock, your theories, and your passion. Share this with your friends and hit that notification bell so you never miss a heartbeat of this journey. We're in this together. The atmosphere inside the arena tonight was pressurized, like a storm front moving in. The main event had just concluded a chaotic, high-stakes six-man tag team war. The Vision, Bronson Reed, Austin Theory, and Logan Paul had just stood over the broken bodies of the Usos and LA Knight. They were preening. They were arrogant. Logan Paul was mocking the crowd, his golden belt shimmering under the hot lights. They thought they were the kings of the mountain. They thought the mystery man who had been terrorizing the roster was a problem for another night. They were wrong. The lights didn't just go out, they were extinguished. A heavy, suffocating silence fell over 20,000 people. And then, it happened. From the pitch-black void of the crowd, a figure in a black hoodie slid over the barricade like a cobra. No music. No pyrotechnics. Just the terrifying efficiency of a professional hitman. Before Austin Theory could even turn his head, the figure was in the ring. Wham! A lightning-fast superkick caught Theory flush on the jaw. Bronson Reed charged like a bull, but the mystery man moved with a fluidity that looked almost supernatural, ducking the clothesline and sending the big man tumbling through the ropes. But the target, the real prize, was Logan Paul. The Maverick tried to scramble away, his eyes wide with a terror we haven't seen since he entered this business. The figure grabbed him by the throat, forced him down, and then, with the crowd screaming in a mixture of horror and exhilaration, delivered a curb stomp so brutal the ring canvas seemed to indent. Logan Paul laid there, twitching, as the figure disappeared back into the shadows of the arena. The Vision was left in ruins. But while the fans were catching their breath, the real story was happening where the cameras usually don't go. In the cold, concrete belly of the arena, the mystery man was making his escape. He thought he was alone. He thought he had vanished back into the night. But leaning against a stack of production crates, bathed in the dim glow of a single flickering light, was the world heavyweight champion, CM Punk. The best in the world didn't look angry. He looked impressed. He looked like a man who had just seen a masterpiece painted in violence. As the hooded figure tried to brush past, Punk stepped into his path. The tension was thick enough to choke on. These are two men who have shaped the industry, two men who have been both saviors and villains. "Nice hoodie," Punk said. The sarcasm was there, but there was an edge to his voice, a respect. "But here's the thing about secrets. I'm really good at keeping them, but I'm even better at using them." The figure stopped. You could see his chest heaving under the black fabric. He reached up, his fingers trembling slightly from the adrenaline of the attack, and pulled back the hood. The arena, watching on the big screen, erupted. It was Seth freakin' Rollins. But this wasn't the Seth Rollins who dances. This wasn't the man in the floral suits. His eyes were sunken, dark, and filled with a cold, calculated rage. He looked like a man who had spent weeks living in the vents of the arena, fueled by nothing but the desire for revenge. He stared at Punk, and for a moment, it felt like the two biggest egos in the history of the business were going to explode. "What do you want, Punk?" Rollins spat, his voice rasping. Punk stepped closer, his voice dropping to that conspiratorial whisper that has moved mountains in this industry. He talked about Roman Reigns. He talked about how the tribal chief thinks he's playing a game of chess while everyone else is playing checkers. He talked about how Reigns has been using the mystery man as a tool to destabilize the Vision, never realizing that the tool had a mind of its own. "Roman thinks he's going to walk into WrestleMania and take my title," Punk said, his eyes locking onto Seth's. "He's been using you. But what if we change the ending? What if the message was bigger than he planned?" The logic was undeniable. Rollins wants the Vision destroyed for their betrayal. Punk wants Reigns neutralized to keep his gold. It was a deal struck in the dark, a pact between two outcasts who have realized that the enemy of my enemy is my greatest weapon. When they shook hands, it felt like the ground shifted. This wasn't just a plot twist, it was a revolution. Hit that like button, subscribe to SLAMZONE, and join the family for more intense wrestling breakdowns every week. We are witnessing the birth of a shadow cabinet in the WWE, and you do not want to miss a single second of the fallout. Let's look at the sheer emotional weight of this. Think about Seth Rollins' journey. This is the man who built the vision. He gave Bronson Reed a purpose. He gave Austin Theory a platform. And they threw him out like yesterday's trash. To see him reduced to a mystery man lurking in the rafters like a ghost, tells you everything you need to know about his mental state. He isn't looking for a title, he's looking for souls. And by aligning with CM Punk, he just got the backing of the most powerful man on the Raw roster. The near falls in this emotional saga aren't about 3 counts, they are about the moments where the secret almost leaked. Remember when Braun Breaker was taken out at the Rumble? We thought it was just chaos. Now we know it was surgical. Seth Rollins is playing a long game, and CM Punk just handed him the winning card. You can feel the energy shifting. This is where legends are made, not just in the ring, but in these quiet, terrifying moments backstage where the future is decided. The Vision is no longer the predator, they are the prey. They are trapped in a cage with a visionary who knows all their secrets and a champion who knows how to exploit every weakness. The backstory between Rollins and Reigns is a decade of brotherhood turned into a decade of bitterness. Reigns thinks he's the puppet master, but he has no idea that his former brother has just signed a contract with his greatest rival. The psychological warfare that is about to unfold is going to be staggering. Every time Roman Reigns looks over his shoulder, he won't know if he's seeing a fan, an official, or the man who is coming to take everything from him. As we look toward the horizon, toward the grandest stage of them all, the suspense is unbearable. Can you imagine the scene at WrestleMania? The lights, the pressure, the World Heavyweight Championship on the line. Roman Reigns has Punk in the middle of the ring. He's calling for the spear. He's ready to unify the titles and cement his immortality. And then, the black hoodie appears. The crowd loses their minds. The confusion, the shock, the ultimate reversal. What a moment that will be. It's the kind of storytelling that reminds us why we fell in love with wrestling in the first place. It's about more than just moves. It's about the heart, the betrayal, and the ultimate redemption. Seth Rollins isn't just a wrestler anymore, he's an agent of chaos. And CM Punk is the man holding the leash, or so he thinks. The pacing of this reveals that we are only in the second act of a 3-act tragedy. The Vision will try to strike back. Roman Reigns will find out about this alliance, and when he does, the wrath of the bloodline will be unlike anything we've ever seen. But for tonight, the advantage sits in the shadows. The mystery man has a name. The champion has an ally. And the road to WrestleMania has just been paved with broken glass. Hit that like button, subscribe to SLAMZONE, and join the family for more intense wrestling breakdowns every week. Do you think this alliance between Punk and Rollins will last? Or will their egos eventually clash and burn it all down? Let me know in the comments. We are part of the SLAMZONE family, and I can't wait to hear your take on this historic night. Stay tuned, because the war is just heating up.